What's up, YouTube? This guy messaged us on Instagram. He had some issues maintaining his temperature with his Sear. So that's what we're gonna do today. And I'm gonna show you how I make a fire, how I keep the vents the whole way through. Right now, I'm just cleaning out my grill from the cook that we had before. I used it last time for searing steaks. I used the sear part of the Sear, you know what I mean? So we've got tin foil on this side of the grate. That'll help push the air up only through here. So when the air draw comes up, it's only gonna come through here. I mean, obviously you're gonna have leaks all around it, but this mainly is the air is gonna come up through here to keep the fire going. I put foil on the front, kind of keep the heat in over here. And let me knock this off real quick, the dust. Got the Sear in like that, and I've also got something here. I have started doing this, and it works really, really good. And I think the next time I find myself at Home Depot and I am actually remembering, I'm gonna get myself some just regular bricks. Basically, I've given myself a little bit of extra cooking space on it, but also these bricks get really, really hot, so it helps maintain the temperature of the cooking chamber itself. So we're gonna take our coals and just fill it up like that. If we need more later, we can add more. Like I said, so I have this little barrier here of rocks, and then coals over here, and I just kind of make them all the same height. And then the coals that I'm actually gonna light to kick this party off, I'm just gonna grab these out from over here in this little corner down here, just like that. Which I got 5 briquettes in there. And then something I do is actually use the charcoal bag as the starter underneath it. So as my charcoal goes down, my bag also goes down, and then I'm left with no trash. I'm sure somebody's already thought of that before, but shove that in there. And then we're gonna go light it, get these coals going. I like to pile them up in the corner over here, like that. That seems to work best to get them all kind of lit and going. But and then while we're waiting for these coals to light, because it's probably gonna take a good 20-25 minutes to get these 5 coals going. And while we do that, then we'll be prepping the meat, but that's not really what the video is about. We're mostly talking about the fire management. So after we get these coals lit, I'll bring you back and show you when I add it to it and how we do that. I'm only gonna use 2 pieces of wood to smoke it. That's my little nest down there. That's my little nest down there for the 5 coals when they're lit. We get them in there. The vent on the bottom is all the way open, and once the coals get inside there, I'm going to put the lid on, and the top lid is also going to be all the way open as well. Just until the fire gets going and it gets up to temperature, and then we'll pull the vents back. So this is a tin pan I'm going to use. I'm going to put in boiling water when it's time to put the meat on. And this is just another thing. It's going to add humidity to the cooking chamber, maybe, I don't know. But more importantly, it's another, I don't know what the word is, but like a thermal thing, right? So water and the rocks heat up and cool off very slowly. The air inside it heats up and cools off instantly. Like if I take the lid off, right, all that hot air goes away, and it's very a volatile cooking chamber. But if you have something in there that maintains its temperature, that's how you're able to kind of keep the cooking chamber like without having these massive spikes and lows and stuff like that. And also it'll save you too, like if your fire ends up going out, there's gonna be a lot of residual heat in there, and hopefully you can get the alarm before it's too late to start it back up. Okay, the coals are pretty much, that was a bad idea. But yeah, they're pretty much lit. You can see we're white. That one could be a little bit better, but honestly be good enough. So let's go put them in the pit here. We're just gonna take them, pop them in like that. Just kind of adjust them a little bit like that. That's all there is to it. So I need to get hot water and put it in that thing. Alright, got some hot water. We're gonna just put that in the pan. I don't know if you can see on the camera, it's filled up about halfway. So then now we're gonna put our grate on. That way we can get at the coals if we need to mess with it or whatever. And we're gonna put the lid on. And we're gonna wait until that says about 225 or 250 on there. So it's been 20 minutes and we're almost at 200 degrees, just giving you a status update of where we're at. Some other stats for you. Today in Arkansas is 85 degrees and it's overcast, with just a little bit of wind sporadically every now and then. So that's what the temperature outside is like. We're still running full vents on the bottom and the top, waiting for it to hit our money mark there of 225, 250, somewhere around in there, right? Okay. All right, so it's been right at 30 minutes since we put the 5 coals in there. And my little probe here is saying almost about 250. And I'm gonna leave the top vents all the way open, and the bottom ones I'm gonna close all the way like that. And we should be able to hold at 250. Now, if it looks like it's gonna start dipping down or whatever, I'm gonna open the bottom just slightly, right? Just a little bit. If you open it a lot, it's gonna take off and it's gonna get away from you like that, right? But there's gonna be natural dips and stuff, so if you go and you check it and it looks like it's getting a little bit hotter, I would probably still wait a little bit, because you might be losing one coal and getting a new one, and that new one is just starting out or something like that. I don't know, but it should hold there pretty steady. And another thing, we're cooking outside, so, you know, like I said, it's 85 degrees. There is randomly like right now, there's no wind, and then randomly there'll be a bunch of wind. So and it's overcast, the sun's behind a bunch of clouds, and it's 5 o'clock in the evening. So that's about what the day is like here, so you can kind of judge for yourself. I know sometimes when I smoke in the winter time, if it's really cold outside, I do have to leave the bottom vent quarter of the way open, just because it's fighting that a lot, I feel like. So we'll find out. So we're all tracking plus or minus 15 degrees on the target temp of 250. I would consider to be successful. Okay, so if I come and check in, it's at 235, that's probably still going to be good enough. 275, yeah, I mean, that's 25 degrees, you know, it's getting a little warm, but you generally speaking, plus or minus 10 to 15 degrees, and you're doing a really good job, right? So that's what maintaining temperature is. All right, so it's been about 25 to 30 minutes or so, and you can see we're still just vibing about 225. I think I said 250 earlier, but with the vent closed on the bottom and the top one all the way open, it wants to stabilize at 225. And the only time that you have trouble getting to the 225 mark, like I said, was if it's super cold outside. But on a day like this, 85, overcast, stuff like that, we're gonna have no trouble holding 225 for as long as we have coals in there, right? So, like I said, 25-30 minutes so far. And I haven't done anything. I haven't lifted the lid. I haven't messed with the vents, nothing. Bottom all the way closed, top all the way open. And you can see our smoke kind of cleaned up a little bit too. So, you know, dirty and clean smoke on the kettle is not really a thing because it goes in and out so fast. But we'll come back in like another 30 minutes or so. We'll just keep checking the time. But, you know, if you want to fast forward to the end, it's gonna hold at 225. All right, so it's been 38 minutes since we last spoke, and I poked my head out here and I saw a bunch of smoke coming out of the top, right? We're still at around the 225, but you can see we're a little bit higher. So what that's telling me here is that that other log that we put in caught, and that means we're about right here on the fire, about halfway through the coals. Still all the way closed at the bottom, all the way open at the top. All right, it's been 30 minutes since we were last out here. All in all, I've got this at just under 2 hours that we've been cooking. What's their temperature on there?
About 250.
Yeah, just a little south of 250-ish. Still all the way closed at the bottom, all the way open at the top. The lamb is at 120 degrees. So I wouldn't normally do this, open the lid to look at it, but let's just, for funsies, let's just look at our coals and pretend like we're gonna fiddle around. I don't know, maybe we want to rotate the meat around. That would be something we could do, but let's see what we're looking at. Yeah, so we're about halfway done with the coals. 2 hours ish. I mean, we still got some more coals underneath there, but yeah, it's looking good. I don't think I'm gonna rotate it. I think I'm gonna just leave it like that, tuck it back in. All right, we're about 3 hours and 15 minutes into this. I don't think you can see it, but we're still at 225, 250. The meat is coming up on 150 degrees. Pretty soon here, I'm gonna pull it off. I'm gonna wrap it, but that doesn't matter. After I put it back on, after being wrapped, I'm gonna stir my coals up a little bit. I might add more coals if I need to. I'm gonna open the bottom up just a quarter of the way, because it's gonna be wrapped up. We're not worried about low and slow. We're just trying to get it to a done temperature and stuff like that. Yeah, we've been holding very solid temperatures the whole time, and you know, can't be mad at that. So that's about how much coals that are left. Anytime you're gonna add coals to something like this, you want to consolidate what you've got. Just kind of pile them up like that, you know, and you can add more on top of it. I would not add the coals to the side of it, because if you add the coals over here to the side, you're going to start a new fire going that way, right? So I would only be adding coals onto the top. I don't need more coals, but if this was burned down quite a bit more, you know, I would shake the loose stuff through the vent and then put coals on top of the fire. I wouldn't extend the fire going that way, because that's an easy way for it to get away from you. Is then you have a fire going in two directions, and it's just a big mess, you know. But if we kind of just, because at this point in the cook, you know, for this one, I'm only planning for this thing to probably take 4.5 hours anyway. Like I said, we kind of want the temperatures to bump up anyway, because we want to finish it. Like, we have it wrapped, we're not taking on any more smoke. We could technically just take it inside the house, cook it in the oven, because it's going to be wrapped in foil, which honestly we might do. But yeah, as far as maintaining temperatures, if y'all have any questions, post in the comments down there. I'll try my best to answer it. Maybe you can teach me something. Y'all probably know a lot more than I do. And if you like this kind of stuff that we're doing around here on the homestead, just hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification so that you never miss out on anything new that comes up. All right, we'll see you next time.